So today I'm going to be reviewing the new Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. If you guys watch me and you know me well, I'm sure you're not surprised that I had to have this as soon as it launched. It's fully neutral, beautiful. Patrick Ta is a very well-known makeup artist. Now this is actually my first purchase from Patrick Ta. There have been products that I've wanted, but I just haven't really been in a super buying mood lately. I know it might not seem like that, but I really haven't been, and so I haven't picked anything up yet. So this one really grabbed my attention, and it's going to be my first time trying on makeup from Patrick Ta. Now you guys know I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and I probably don't need this. So something I'm going to be doing in all of my eyeshadow palette reviews, when I get a new palette, I'm going to be letting a palette go. So let me take a moment. I'm going to approach my makeup collection, pick a palette, and declutter it to welcome this one into my collection. It's just going to make me feel better. So BRB. So I'm back after some deep deliberation. I have decided I'm going to be decluttering the original Lorac Pro palette. This has seen many days. It is quite a few years old. I've hit pan on 1, 2, 3, almost 4 of the eyeshadows in here, and this is one of the palettes that I used to do prom makeup with. I loved it. So let's say goodbye to the Lorac Pro and welcome in this new Patrick Ta palette. So I'm sorry for the extended intro, but if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts, seeing me try it on for the first time, seeing swatches, you guys know the drill, then please give this video a thumbs up. It helps me a ton, and let's get into this review. So the Major Dimension palette was $68 US. I did purchase mine off of Sephora. You could go in store. I probably should have gone in store. I would have had it a lot faster to be able to review it for you guys, but it's a fairly expensive product. Patrick Ta is expensive makeup, but it does look super luxurious. So this is a 12 shade palette, and there are 2 creams. So there's 2 brown creams, 2 different shades over here, like a lighter brown and a very deep brown. Those are both cream bases or cream eyeshadows. I don't know how I'm going to use them yet. And then the rest of the shades are normal powder eyeshadows. It looks like we have 4 completely matte shades ranging in different shades of brown. We have some metallics, and we have kind of like, reminds me of the ColourPop texture. It's like a matte with glitter in it. It does have a big, beautiful mirror in it. I'm going to be using that today, and the packaging is all reflective inside and out. The names are on the back of the palette. I don't think that the names are super important when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. It just helps me to explain what I'm doing on camera, but I'll do my best to explain which shadows I'm using for this. But I don't know if I love that they're on the back and not on the front. I think it's aesthetically pleasing to not have them on the front, but it's just not super helpful. Like, why even have names? You know, I think I would have liked it better if it just didn't even have names at all. That would have been kind of cool. But yeah, they are on the back of the palette if you guys care about that. There also is a little flippy plastic door here protecting the creams, which I think is important so that you don't get powders mixed in there. It's already covered in fingerprints. So my first negative is the packaging. I don't love a completely metallic packaging. Of course, it's chic, it's beautiful, but we all have fingers, we all have oil, and it's going to get fingerprinty. That's just the way it's gonna be, and it's a little hard to keep perfectly clean. It's powder, it's cream, it's gonna get messy, and it's very hard to take pictures of metallic packaging. But that's all petty stuff, so let's actually try the formula and stop complaining. So I'm gonna go in with, see, I don't even know. I can't be flipping back and forth to read the shades. So I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm gonna dip into this matte brown shade. There's a ton of pickup, so I think it's going to be very pigmented, but you're going to want to tap off your brush because look at that, like it's already making a huge mess, and my floor is going to be covered in eyeshadow because I like to blow it away, which is not sanitary, but I do it every single day. So I'm taking this E40 and I'm going to blend this shade into the crease of my eye. Now, I am not a makeup artist. I do not have the best techniques in the world. I'm just a basic human being, so take this tutorial for what it is, and we're just gonna go with it here and see what kind of look we're gonna come up with today. I make no promises. I like the feel of the shadows, very finely milled, I think. There is pigment to these, but it's not so much that it's all sticking in one place, if that makes sense. When you land it on the eye, it's allowing me to blend it right away. This really is a good kind of fleshy tone for my skin tone, so very good transition shade for me. This palette, you guys, is, I don't know, like I just had to have it. The shades in here look like something I would wear every single day, and because it's fancy and it's Patrick Ta, like I just felt like I needed it, and I feel better decluttering a palette and moving this one in rather than just, you know, overloading myself. I obviously need to do a full eyeshadow palette declutter, but for now, until I do that, I think this is gonna be a good technique for me. Like if I'm gonna bring a makeup product in, I'm gonna kick a makeup product out. The more I am looking at it, the more I think if you happen to have the Tati palette in your collection, you might not need this one. Each matte almost has a corresponding metallic at the top row. Just reminds me of the Tati palette, just a little bit. Going in with an E25 MAX blender brush. This is a new type of brush from Sigma. We're gonna move one shadow over, so one shade darker. Still has the same amount of pickup, and this is gonna go in the outer portion of the eye, but I'm gonna try to lift it up a little bit. That's something I've been working on, like extending my eye shape a little bit. I really do the same techniques in every look. Like you can go ahead and roast me, so I'm gonna try to like wing it up a little bit. I always appreciate when I'm not on camera how much time I can take, and I could be super meticulous and do all of the different trends and all of the different techniques, and my makeup always comes out better. So we're taking the extra time to flick up the eye look. As I like get older and gain a little bit of weight, I think that it's making my eyes a little bit more hooded, which kind of sucks because I like having a big canvas for makeup, but it also forces me to learn different makeup techniques, so maybe I can help other people out a little bit. Like I have this double hood now, like a little bit of a double fatty eyelid, if you will. I thought maybe my Botox would lift that a little bit more, but I did not go hard with Botox at all, so I didn't get too much of a lift. Now I'm gonna go in with that shade that reminds me of like the ColourPop and Tati formula. This shade over here, it's a creamy white, but it has glitter in it and so much pickup. But I am going to pick this up with an E25 Blending, and I'm gonna pop it into the corner of my eye and see if we can get some brightness in there before we go and smoke this look out, which I think is what I'm gonna end up doing. Just adding a little bit of dimension and brightness. And you know what? I'm gonna take it and pop it under the brow too. So we have a little bit of glitter popping out from underneath the brow. With this same brush, we're gonna put this palette to the test. So I don't have expert techniques. This is how I always do my smoky eyes. So I'm gonna be careful to tap off excess because this has a lot of pickup, but I'm going to slather the deepest brown matte shade all over my lid and then blend it out and hope for good results. So I'm taking the deepest brown shade on that same E25, tapping it off. We're working with small amounts here because I don't want it to fall down onto my face. Double tapping it off. I'm going to tap it all over the lid. So tapping, tapping, tapping all over the lid, a little bit into the crease, kind of blending as I go here. This is where that base would be beneficial underneath, but I guess it's helpful to test this out without any cream base so that you guys know how pigmented it is without it. Not that it matters because you're always going to have it in the palette, but creams sometimes take a little bit longer to work with. So if you're like heading out the door, maybe you don't want to put a cream down first. You guys like that technique? Like literally tapping it. We're not even blending, we're just tapping. Tapping it, tapping it, tapping it. I'm gonna take this medium brown right here and the bigger E25 MAX, tap it off so there's barely anything on it, and start to blend the edge. We have a little bit of skippage, is what I like to call it, like skipping, and that's usually due to the base, not so much the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna see if I can blend over the skip, see if it goes away. It could be my eyelid was a little greasy and I didn't set it properly. because I have been kind of chilling after I had my base down for a little while. I didn't go right into makeup. This is the type of look that I do, like a going out type of look. I consider it to be a little bit signature for me and my face and everything. My eyes really pop out with a chocolatey brown look. I think if you want it to be super intense, you're gonna want to put down one of those creamy bases. I could definitely see how like a lot of the brown just blended away. Going over top to deepen. And then once we deepened up, we're taking the very tip of the larger brush, the E25 MAX, picking up that deep dark brown, tapping it off, almost all of it, and then blending one more time. Hoping not to blend too much of it away. That's why we're using the darker shade this time. The creasing over here isn't really going away, so I think it's probably more so my eyeshadow base than anything, but I do want to mention it. I don't think I'm getting the absolute most perfect blend possible on this planet, but that's also like me as a human being and error on my part probably. So going into the second to last metallic on the top right, I'm picking this up with a concealer brush from Sigma, and I'm gonna give myself like a little starburst right here in the inner corner because these have some bigger, chunkier glitters in them, and I want that little effect over here. And then what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to completely close off this look, but I do want a little something underneath my eyes in case I do crease with my concealer under there, I'm just gonna take leftovers from what's on this big fluffy brush. I'm gonna look up and just apply whatever's left over underneath my eyes. I'm not dipping in for more product. So that makes it more smoky, but it's not adding like an actual layer of dark shadow. It's just gently connecting the look without closing off the eyeball, if you will. So I think I put the mattes to the test in this, and they're pretty good. I mean, I do think there's a little bit of flaws over here on this eye, but it's nothing that is not my own like anatomy. Like I think I just had a little bit of a greasy eyelid and I tried a new random eye base, and that's my own fault. But first try using this palette, I think it's gonna be an absolute winner for me. So I'm gonna pop on some cheap ass lashes. I have these Marshall's lashes. We're gonna pop them on and I will be back to individually swatch this eyeshadow palette. Okay guys, I'm back. My lashes are on and I'm very comfortable in this look. Like this is not something you guys haven't seen before. It's not something I haven't seen before. So it's hard because I don't want to tell you guys you need this in your life, but if you don't have a lot of neutral palettes, this I think would be a good option if you really like the color story in here. Of course, there are always going to be alternatives. There's always going to be palettes that are similar to a neutral palette. It's just formula and price that you have to consider. Trying to stay practical, I think if you guys have this palette in your collection, the Tati Beauty palette, then I don't think you're gonna need this because a lot of the matte tones are very similar. You've got the deep brown, medium, the light matte white, you have the matte with the glitter in it, and then you do have a row of metallics and glitters and more here. I don't know what's going on with Tati Beauty, if this is done or not. I'm just saying if you have it already, I don't think you're gonna need the Patrick Ta. I'm sure you guys could give me a million alternatives in the comments, but just analyzing this palette alone, I do like that there are two creams in there. I think they're going to be a little bit multi-use. You could use them for brows, you could use them for liner or as a base or as a cream shadow alone. That's something I'm going to be playing with. I do think that the deep browns are going to look even more rich and full with that cream underneath. It's tough because this is my first experience with Patrick Ta, and I think that I kind of wish my first experience was face products, just because when I think of a makeup artist and their line, I kind of think of face and base first. I don't know why, but that might be something I need to dive into just to know more about the brand. The palette is good. I can't tell you if I think that this is worth $68. Am I mad that I got it? No, but I do think that I like used some points that I had for my VIB, and I also used a little bit of money from a return. So like it didn't hit me as hard. It didn't hit me at a full $68, if that makes sense. You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think. I think the quality of the shadows is good, but I don't think it's immaculate. Like I don't think it's an unbeatable formula by any means. And also there's just so many alternatives for affordable prices. So I'm not mad that I bought it. I like it. I'm gonna be playing with it a lot more. So maybe down the line I'll be able to tell you with certainty if it was worth the $68. But right now I'm like, you could probably get something else. You probably have something else in your collection already, but it is stunning. I'm not gonna lie, like it's stunning. I think it's gonna produce really good eye looks. So it just depends on your collection, what you need, and how you feel about the palette, honestly. So enough rambling. I'm gonna get on to swatching these one by one, and then I do have to go to work. So we're gonna have to try to make this a little bit quick. So I'm gonna do the top row first from left to right, and then the bottom row, same thing, left to right. So let's start off with the first cream shadow. This is the shade Lady. So there is the shade Lady. Next is the shade Exquisite, and this is a beautiful metallic brown. And they do swatch like butter. Next is Legendary. This is a beautiful kind of rosy gold bronze. Next up is Lavish. This is one of those mattes with a little bit of glitter in it. Next up is Opulence. This is the one that I have in my inner corner a little bit, and this is a beautiful metallic. Next is Abundance. This is a white kind of shimmery metallic. This one is a little bit chunky, so I think it would be a little harder to work with, but it might make a super stunning topper. The next cream is Woman. This is that nice, deep, rich brown that I think I could use as a dip brow. There is my favorite shade, Scandal. Next up is a warmer, deep brown called Mother. This is nice and deep, but it's gonna add a little bit of warmth to a look. Next up is Absolutely. This is a beautiful medium tone brown. Then we have Transition, which might not show up really well on my skin. It is a perfect transition color for me. And last up, we have that beautiful cream with glitter. This one is called Divine. So you guys, there are things that I love about this palette. I love the textures, the colors. I love the innovation of the creams with the little door on there, the big mirror. It's beautiful. The color story is stunning. But with my collection, it's not something that I feel like I absolutely can't get the same look in another palette. So those are my thoughts. I'm a little bit neutral on it, so I don't know if it's super helpful for you guys. I like to be able to be like, yes, go get it, or no, don't go get it. But this one, I'm right on the middle. I feel like I want to say, yes, go get it. If you have the budget and you just don't care how much it is, absolutely, yes, go get it. It's beautiful. But if you have a lot of neutrals in your collection already, or it's out of your budget, don't even feel bad because you can get the look somewhere else. Hopefully that helps you guys out. It is so fingerprinty right now, so I'm constantly going to be wiping this off and cleaning it, so that's another negative, but overall, my experience with this palette was positive, and I do enjoy the look I came up with. I'm gonna be dipping back into this palette. I absolutely would choose this palette over the Lorac Pro that I got rid of. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about the Major Dimension palette from Patrick Ta. If you guys have any recommendations from Patrick Ta that you think that I would like, please drop a comment. I always listen to your recommendations. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video regardless of my neutral opinion. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me a ton, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more reviews and you like this type of video. I do post every single week, and hopefully I will see you guys very, very soon in my next video. Bye guys.